Hello my fashion lovers, welcome to today's tutorial. On today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make this ruffle sleeve, flounce sleeve or ruffle sleeve. You can call it flounce sleeve. And I'll be using this fabric. I'll be cutting the blouse first. I'll be cutting the blouse, and the blouse is going to be, the length of the blouse is going to be 32. The length of the blouse is going to be 32, and it's going to be a flare top. It's a flare top with ruffle sleeve or flounce sleeve. And for your fabric, I'm making use of 3 yards of fabric. You are going to fold your fabric into two, as you're seeing in this picture. In the video, you fold it into two, and you go ahead and fold it into four, because I'll be cutting the front and the back together. Fold it into two, then you go ahead and fold it. This is the two. Fold it into two like this, and you take one end of the fabric, and throw it till you get to the end. You take one part of the fabric and you're going to throw it the same way you throw your flare. That is the same way you're going to fold this. Fold it into two, then fold it again into four. As you can see on this video, we are cutting the front and the back together. And now I have 4 pieces, the front and the back. And you're going to get your shoulder. That is, your starting point should be your shoulder divided by 2. My shoulder divided by 2 is 9 inches. So we are going to mark 9 inches. Mark 9 inches at the starting point. And from there, you're going to take, after marking the shoulder, you're going to measure the length. The length I'm taking is 32. And you're going to go round, length 32. From the shoulder, you take the length you're working with, and you go round till you get to the edge of the open fabric. The folded part should be facing you because that is where the neckline is. You keep going. Until you get your full length. And now we're going to mark the neckline. The neckline I'm using is 3 inches for the width and 3 inches for the length. And now from the shoulder, you're going to mark the armhole. The armhole I'm making use of is 9 inches for the armhole. 9 inches. Mark out your armhole. Because the fabric is white, that is why you're not seeing the shock. And on the armhole, mark your 1 inch shoulder slope and slant it. 1 inch shoulder slope and slant it. And after marking your 3 inches, you go ahead and mark another 1 inch for the back fabric. For the back, I'm on the neckline, I marked 1 and 3 inches, 1 for the back and 3 inches for the front. And this is for the armhole. You measure on this, on the chest line where your armhole stops, that is where you're going to measure your bust. Take your bust measurements. The bust measurements, then you get the middle part of the armhole and you connect it. Connect your armhole. And you go ahead and take your bust measurements divided by 4 plus 2 inches. Then mark it straight down to the length. Mark it straight down to the length and you go ahead and cut. We'll be cutting out the 1 inch for the back first, cutting out the 1 inch for the back first, cut the shoulder, go ahead and cut the armhole, cut the armhole and the length of the top. And now you're going to bring out the front, bring out the front and cut it out. Cut the neckline. And now we're going to cut the flounce for the sleeve. I'll be making use of these 3 yards. I'll be cutting the two sleeves together. I'll be cutting the two sleeves together, the lining for the flounce and the main fabric. I'll be cutting everything together. You're going to put it on fold. You're going to fold it into 4 to get the both sleeves at once. Fold it into 4. Going to fold it and I'll fold it again into 4. So I have 4 pieces now to cut the line, both the lining, the main fabric, the two sleeves. I'm cutting everything together. And now we're going to mark the flounce. To start marking the flounce, you're going to get the middle part. I'm folding it to get the middle part. Get the middle part. And that is going to be our starting point. That is going to be our starting point. Mark it out. And you get another line, making it a cross. Fold it to get another line. After marking out your lines, from the 4 lines, you're going to mark out the length of the flounce you want. For me, I'm marking 4 inches for the length of my flounce. That is the width. The width, how wide I want my flounce to be. I want it to be 4 inches wide, not the length, the width. I'm marking it 4 inches. Mark it on the 4 lines. And when I get to this line, I'm going to go down from that line. I'm going to go down and mark 4 inches again. I'm going to go down and mark 4 inches again. Now I'm going to connect it round. Connect it round. Now when I get to this point, at this point, instead of connecting it direct to the other line, I will take it down to the 4 inches I marked at the down part. From this line, I'll connect it down to the 4 line. take it down, and from there, this is how it's going to appear. Instead of connecting on this line, take it down to the other line, and from there you start taking your measurements. I'm still maintaining the 4 inches because all of them are going to be the same width. Go ahead and take the 4 inches. You keep going. 4 inches round. You keep going in circle. You keep taking the measurements. Keep taking your measurements. I'll go ahead and connect the lines first before I continue. You keep going. And because this part is not going to give me 4 inches, because you're going to stop on a line, not outside the line. You must stop on a line, and that part cannot give me 4 inches. So I'm stopping on this line. This is where I'll be stopping. But you can still go ahead and stop on this line if you want. But I want my own to be on the same width, to have the same width. So I'm stopping on this line, because if I get to this line, it won't give me 4 inches. This body part will give me 4 inches, but the end, where I will end, will not give me 4 inches. So I will stop at the other line. But if you want, you can still go ahead and add it. And this is where I'll be stopping. And you can't stop at the middle, you must stop at a point at the straight line. That is where you're going to stop. And this is how I'm going to cut it the same way it has appeared on the fabric. You follow the chalk line and cut it, but I won't be cutting it on this fabric because I won't be making use of this. My fabric is white fabric, but if I mark it on the white fabric, you won't see what I'm marking. That's why I'm marking it here, and I'll go ahead and cut it on the white fabric. You just follow the line and cut it. See, just follow the line, what you have marked, follow the chalk. The chalk you have marked, just follow it and cut it. Now I'll go ahead and cut it. Go ahead and cut it. Just keep going round the circle. Keep going round. You just cut this part to separate it. cut it off to separate. You continue going round. Go ahead and cut it off. And this is what we have. This is what we have. The four pieces for the sleeve, the lining and the fabric at the same time. The lining and the fabric at the same time. Now we are going to stitch it down. For the top, you are going to sew the neck. If you're sewing with lining, you go ahead and use your lining to turn the neck for the front and the back. After turning the neck, for the flounce, we are going to make use of horsehair braid crinoline. We are going to be attaching crinoline to it. We are going to be attaching crinoline, and this is what I'm attaching now. You attach it at the edge. You attach it at the edge. The crinoline is going to be on top, while the lining and the fabric will be at the down part. You go ahead and sew it down. The same way you turn your lining, that is the same way you will turn this, but the difference is that you're sewing the horsehair braid, the crinoline on it. You go ahead and sew it down. And after sewing it, you go ahead and top stitch. After sewing your crinoline, you go ahead and top stitch. To top stitch it, move all your stitches facing the lining. To stop stitch, move your stitches facing the lining so that you can relax very well. You go ahead and top stitch. After top stitching, now I'm going to fold it into two. It's long, so I'm going to fold it into two and gather it. Fold it into two and gather it at the upper part. I will gather it using the long stitch, and I'll go ahead and gather it, to my desired length. Gather it to your desired length. You go ahead and gather it to your desired length, and after gathering it, you can go ahead and attach it to your armhole. Go ahead and attach it to the armhole. Go ahead and attach it to the armhole. And when gathering it, when attaching it, if you have still have excess, you can still pleat it. When gathering, if you have excess, you can still go ahead and pleat it. At this point, if you're still following, please subscribe, like, share, and comment. And this is the end of our tutorial. On our next tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew your corset. So stay tuned and see you next time. Bye.